You don't have to know what that person is, what they're going through. Like, you're right there with them in this universe, in this time frame, and it's just like it's a relief. It's refreshing. It's a great time, and like Kenny said, I mean, you really have to cherish those moments and cherish those people because you don't know how many more opportunities you'll get at that. So, yeah, I mean, besides that, not to end on a sober note, I mean, on a somber note, but life is precious and life is life, and it's too short to be spent always being petty, being self destructive, and taking people for granted. So, yeah, man, on that note, let's wrap it up. This is Touchdowns and Tangents. What, 116 pre-record?
Yeah, I think so.
Signing out from the Good News radio station early this Thursday morning. If you could do one thing to support this podcast you listen to when you actually remember to, or this podcast you listen to every single week religiously because you really support us, either on the Good News radio station app or on our replay affiliates like XY Radio, or anytime you want throughout the week on various podcast apps, including Spotify, Stitcher, Speaker, Podbean, Radio Public, etc., etc. If you can do one thing to support these two guys here who are actually doing this on their second shift after having worked long days and here in the wee hours of the morning cutting to pre-record because one of us has a pre-agreed to scheduling conflict. If you can do one thing to support this podcast, please rate it, give it 5 stars, 4 stars. That helps us get discovered by other people, 1. And 2, it gives us a lot of feedback in terms of how we can make it better, what are some of the things we can double down on. And really, it's just a reflection that we're reaching you and that we're reaching you well. And hopefully it will, like I said, help us get discovered by other people because, I mean, frankly, any review you could leave on any podcast app, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, any of those places I mentioned before, a review you leave there is worth more than, even if you send us $10 on Venmo or $20 on PayPal to buy us a little food, because that review is going to stay with our podcast forever, and that's the foundation that can be set to help us continue growing. So please, if you can do one thing to support this podcast, leave us a review, 4 stars, 5 stars preferred, but even if it's 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever, at least give us the gift of feedback so maybe we can improve and hopefully reach you a little bit better next time. On that note, I'm Pete Certified, a.k.a. Pete D. Camarillo.
I'm at Ozo Grande, Ozio Grande.
You like how I flipped that, huh?
Yeah, that was nice. That was nice.
I had to keep you on your toes with your energy on fumes right now.
Honestly, Candace Frank James Berry.
But yeah, we'll be back live again next week from the Good News radio station. This is Touchdowns and Tangents.
We out.
Have a good morning.